Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, أيها الجمهور الكريم, let me begin by expressing my particular happiness for being here today as UM6P is offering us all the opportunity to explore and deepen a fascinating topic. First of all, I would like to thank all of the UM6P staff for its mobilization and hard work on this international meeting. I thank more particularly the organizers and my friends and colleagues, Fouad Laoui and Saad Tazi, for the quality of their work, making the Science Week a catalytic moment in the life of the university. It has been a pleasure for me to collaborate with them almost immediately after I joined the Africa Business School, for which complexity is a crucial issue. Classical science postulates that what is scientific must be general and generic, regular and linear. The sciences of complexity go further and study what is singular, irregular, unpredictable, all what constitutes the very nature and texture of most real phenomena around us. As a social anthropologist, I have been working on complexity for the past 25 years, starting with a 2-year survey on the field, during which I interviewed over 50 outstanding scientists. I then spent the next 20 years researching complexity and emergence, culminating in man and in society. I would like to draw your attention today to the importance of apprehending the complexity, emergence, self-organization manifested in what is called the humanities. Let us consider, for instance, the notion of randomness and destiny. Who would have imagined 25 years ago that after meeting Edgar Morin and Luc Steels, or conversing with Gregory Scheiting, Stuart Kaufman, and Ivar Eklund, I would meet them here and now, all together with other major scientists and thinkers of complexity. And who could have thought that such a gathering would take the form of a summit on complexity held in my own native country? Who could have predicted a couple decades ago that Benguerir would become the sci-tech and thinking plane, la plaine qui pense, of Morocco, and indeed the whole continent? In this contingent history, blending individual trajectories and global issues, what is the part of chance? What is the part of destiny? During this week, there will certainly be discussions on the role of randomness in mathematics, physics, and biology. It is instructive to see how random, fertile situations sometimes become possibilities of realities that occasionally converge towards a destiny and a destination. Scientists need to take destiny and destination very seriously. This is the case of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, the United Nations body assessing the science related to climate change and its impact on the biosphere. I would like to share a definition of destiny that today can be mathematized, a definition proposed almost a century ago by the Indian philosopher Muhammad Iqbal, probably the most knowledgeable non-Western philosopher of his time when it comes to science. Iqbal claims that destiny is time regarded as prior to the disclosure of its possibilities. We are living the golden age of complexity. Science, culture, society, economy, politics, every field of our multifaceted reality is now driven by an unprecedented pace of change. Complexity is increasingly at work at the different levels of our physical world, but also in our individual psyche and collective consciousness. At the same time, we are living a dark age of complexity, with an increasing risk of seeing the digital transformation and artificial intelligence contribute to generate a knowledge peak, with the probability that the next generation of citizens might know much less than what we know, completely controlled and manipulated like cognitive cattle, bétail cognitif. In addition, our way of life, how we are exploiting nature and its resources, are making the planet the worst of possible worlds. We therefore have to confront this highly uncertain state of existence, with both new and promising possibilities and the almost inevitable approach of a final hour due to our selfish, supremacist, violent, and consumerist urges. Complexity is in fact a universal declaration of interdependence, for better and for worse. We must understand that what affects the environment, the living beings on the other side of the planet, may have tragic consequences for us as well. It is the famous butterfly effect, only over-amplified and generalized. We are all in the same boat, so if there is still time, let us divert it from a titanic route and fate. Complexity contributes to making science a more realistic and modest quest. It highlights the limits of science. We are now facing geophysical limits due to an anthropic saturation of space and time. In this time of cascading crises and civilizational hiatus, September 11 in 2001, financial collapse in 2008, Fukushima nuclear disaster in 2011, social uprisings and movements all over the world during the 2010s, the COVID-19 pandemic. Complexity is somehow taking revenge on us. We are not here together for a whole week by a mere chance. We have converged here because we have work to do together. We have to consider a problem of lack of resources, space and time after having commoditized almost everything on Earth. We're confronted with the hard problem of what I call a restrictive geometry. How, when we are short on time and space, can we pave the plane by doing better with less, by doing much better with much less? This is indeed the most complex issue at stake. Muhammad Iqbal approached the notion of complexity in a very subtle manner, linking it to the spiritual connection to nature and its continuous creation, tajdid al-khalq, and evolution. Connection that we have all lost due to our collective and quasi-religious belief in market fundamentalism and infinite consumerism. Iqbal claims that an act is temporal or profane if it is done in a spirit of detachment from the infinite complexity of life behind it. It is spiritual if it is inspired by that complexity. We're not here by chance. We need to anticipate the destiny of humanity before the disclosure of its possibilities, before its most probable fatal bifurcations as well as its promising ones. Complexity is two-sided and expresses the emergence and its properties, chemical, physical, biological, and cultural properties that transform some potentialities into realities. Here again, I cannot find better illustration of what emergence is than the words of the Andalusian poet Antonio Machado, who says that, "Walker, there is no path. The path is made by walking. Walking, you make the path." Let us then walk together and make the path during this unique Science Week. And more importantly, let us walk our talks along the edge of chaos. In this perspective, I wish us all creative and fruitful conversation. Finally, I have a request addressed to all of you, participants, managers, professors, students of UM6P, the public. I will be at your service during this international conference and will be accompanied during the whole week by a group of 6 talented people from the Africa Business School. These participant observers will be in charge of a digital humanities workshop and would like to capture outside the plenary sessions a maximum of spaces and moments, vivid situations, spontaneous discussions, comments, critical viewpoints, for the purpose of developing later various multimedia didactic support. I'm asking you to kindly welcome them on your side and facilitate this continuous workshop by giving them a little bit of your attention all along the week. Please work with them, talk to them. Thank you very much.